See it?
Yep.
Yep.
You'll want to go and hit the um, slideshow button to fill up the whole screen.
Okay, up here.
It's down at the lower left.
He's got it.
That's
He
good.
got it.
Okay, there we go. So, hey, I apologize, guys, because we had this.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Jeez.
We're fine.
Okay, are we ready to roll?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this will be a short PowerPoint on scratch building a diner for my HO scale layout. And the inspiration was this ad that I found in, I think it was Narrow Gauge and Short Line Gazette, but you can see that it was an advertisement for this this kit that was going to be released at the National Narrow Gauge Convention in 2011. That was 9 years ago. And I said, boy, that's really kind of neat. I could give that a shot and do it. So, besides, I'll save myself $135. Well, anyway, I said, I just held on to it, kind of put it in the file and said, well, I'll get that to that one of these days. So one of those days finally came. And the basic starting point was getting an Athearn diner card, just one of the raw diner cards that you can buy from Athearn. And the first step was to really cut it apart, as you can see. So this part, I don't know, does that arrow show up, Terry?
Yeah,
It does. Okay, good.
It does.
So this, thank you very much. This is actually, they had, if I go back to that first slide, I think they had the dimensions on here. Okay, building footprint was 4 inches by 10 inches. So that was the clue in terms of how to measure this thing. That was very helpful. So basically this end and part of the vestibule, I just cut that out with a razor saw. So that was the starting point. And then the next thing was to do some painting. So I just masked, as you can see, the roof of the dining car, and I also masked off the bottom so I could just spray the center part white. Pretty straightforward. And you can see the end of it where the vestibule was and now the new entrance to the actual diner. And now what I did here then was a little bit more masking and painting, so I had the three colors. I think I went back and actually sprayed the roof flat black because, of course, coming out of the box, as you well know, it would have been a shiny plastic, so I wanted to mute that down. So basically, I had the three colors that I wanted. If you want to go back to that first slide. This is roughly what they had here, okay? It's a different dining car. Their car here was a little bit different from mine, but
That's a quarter scale also. Did you see that?
I'm sorry?
It's a quarter scale. It says on the down at the bottom under the price.
Quarter inch scale, right. So, but I have to confess my ignorance. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah,
That's O scale.
O scale.
Okay. Oh,
yeah. That's
All right.
narrow gauge.
Okay. See, I don't have a conversion. I need an algorithm to do that conversion. I don't have it on my screen, but you get the point. So, so here we are, and basically the diner car part is done. Did a flat brown base coat on the bottom third of that. So far, so good. Now, the next thing was to figure out what was I going to do to support the diner body, because that had to be elevated above ground level. So I just used a basswood underframe and an old piece of 3/8 inch plywood to elevate it above ground level. And here we are. This is, it's a little blurry, but that's just the way I took that picture. So that gave me the height that I wanted off the ground level. And here's a much better picture of the side of the diner. When I was starting to build the kitchen, and if I go back, I'll make everybody dizzy here, but let's see. Oops. Go back. If you go back to the original picture that was in that ad, this is the part that I'm working on right now. So I'm trying to size it in such a way that I can get the kitchen part built next. So that was the beginning, just to get and this is just cardboard I'm using at this point. So here we are, I've mocked up the kitchen shed. And again, this is just eyeballing it. I wasn't really using any dimension conversions at all. I was just kind of eyeballing it. Hey, that looks about right. That looks close to what it was in the picture. So we were at this point, we had the mock-up for the kitchen ready to go. Just another view of it. And then I used a 16th inch clapboard for the shed walls and used some Minwax stain thinned with mineral spirits to stain the wall. And the next step was to dummy up the back wall of the kitchen shed, and I used an old diesel cooling fan that I had laying around in my supply of materials, and just wanted to kind of test fit for the sizing of that back wall. And now I'm starting to cut out the holes for the windows. And another blurry picture, but I really have gotten fond of this canopy glue. I don't know if you guys have used it or not, but I almost use it all the time now when I'm putting in clear styrene, because it will dry clear and it doesn't craze the styrene like you would see with even CA glue. I've had some bad experiences using CA to do styrene windows, but that gives you an idea of how I space that part. So the windows were in at this point. And then all I had to really do was just glue the fan. So could you guys distinguish that from an exhaust fan?
Not me.
Looks good to me.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the looks of that fan on that building.
Oh, thank you. What's interesting is, I think it's this, oh gosh, who was it? Oh, I forget his name. The guy who was the scratch building guru at Model Railroad for so many years.
Curran,
Sorry?
Art Curran.
Art Curran, yes, thank you. I'm sorry. I mean, I have one of his books that he wrote about scratch building. I think it's out of print now. But the point I'm trying to make is that he really said, "Hey, look, don't worry what the part was intended to be. If it fits your needs, go for it." So,
Hey, when they went to the scrapyard to get the car body, they just probably picked up whatever else was left.
good. I like that, Mark. I like that. Yep. So the next thing was to find a little sign to put on the side of the building, and just went to the internet, found this hamburger sign. Boy, I wonder what year it was that you get a hamburger for 25 cents. But the procedure here. Just use some 220 grit sandpaper to thin the backside of that piece of paper. Just print it on my inkjet printer, and then applied that to the side of the wall. Probably not the best shot, best angle, but there's a better one coming up. But that, the nice thing there is just using plain old diluted white glue. And the technique, I'm sure I don't have to go over, just kind of using your fingertip or fingernail to just kind of make it look like it's painted onto the
Uh-oh. Hello?
Yeah, we just lost you, Roger.
Roger, you've locked up.
Terry, I'll let you take it over from here for technical expertise.
Hey, let's hear it for Comcast.
Yeah, there's not anything I can do.
That's why I fired Comcast a year ago.
You want me to call Roger and have him reboot?
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I am curious as to what causes that, because I see that on news counts, casts all the time where they lock
Oh,
up.
there's Roger. He's back.
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what the heck happened there. Oh, gee, I paid my cable bill. I'm pretty sure I did.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Now that's not full screen, but can you see that okay? Or
Yeah.
It's what we had before.
I'm sorry?
It's what we had before.
Okay, good, good. So that was one view of the kitchen shed, and then this is the other side, so you can see how the back worked out. And next, I use this corrugated. Actually it's a resin part, and it seemed just perfect with the roof format. It just seemed like a perfect fit for that roof. So I spray painted on aluminum and drilled a hole for a vent stack. And there's the vent stack, and I weathered the roof with Vallejo pigments. I'm just starting to experiment with those things, but I've read a lot about Vallejo paints and Vallejo pigments. So I got, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 different colors: black, a brown color, a couple earth colors, tans, and so on. But I can't exactly remember how I did that. I think I experimented with, you can mix it with turpentine. I think I might use turpentine or mineral spirits, one of the two, but be sure you don't do that inside the house. Because, so I had, because of the fumes, but I took that outside and kind of played with it for a while. And I think the roof came out pretty good. I'm happy with the result there. Now, the next thing was to construct the sign on top of the building. And what I used were these, it's called Make a Sign, 1/2-inch letters, numbers, and symbols. I don't know if you can see this. I'm holding it up right now. Can you guys see that?
Sort of.
Andy, can you see it?
Yeah, I have a little picture up in the corner I can.
Very good. Okay. Now, you know what these are they used to use these in office buildings as a directory before everything, got changed. But here's like the letter O. It's not really a good, but it basically has these little tabs. They would fit those into little slots in a felt background. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the black felt background with the
Yeah.
ridges in it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I thought, well, that would do the job. And just spray painted it red. Made a simple little frame with strip styrene. That was the first step. And these 1, 2, 3 blocks, by the way, just come in so handy. I use them a lot for squaring things up and keeping things at 9-degree angles and so on. But they're real handy tool. So the next step was to just get the sign supports in place. Again, same, I think it's maybe probably 1/8-inch square styrene. And then there's the sign in place on top of the building, on top of the diner.
Roger, are those letters available still? Do they still?
I don't know if they are or not. Andy, I got these things a long time ago at it might have been like an art store where they had all kinds of different graphic supplies.
Right.
But, you know, if you're interested, if you need some letters, just let me know, because I got a bunch here, and happy to supply those at no charge.
Hobby Lobby and Michael's also has letters too.
But do they have these kind?
Not that type, but
Yeah.
they,
Yep, I don't think so either. But I'm glad I got them when I saw them.
similar.
Yeah. So
Half,
just,
half-inch letters are definitely available on the internet, and for,
oh, good.
you know, I see something here for $13, another with more for $20, so they're available.
Holy smoke. Well, I know I didn't pay that much. It was, these are 144 white half-inch characters, Terry. Letters, numbers, and symbols. So 144 is a pretty good number, but I'm sure I didn't pay 13 bucks for them. I might have found a different source for letters. So, okay, so here we are with the sign in place on top of the building. And then it gives you a side view of, you know, test fitting the base for the masonite. I guess one of the things I skipped over is that this porch railing back here for the entranceway is again just strip styrene and copying pretty much the picture that I saw on the ad that I showed you earlier. And then the next step was to build the shed vestibule. There was a vestibule, if you recall, at the back of the on the other side of the diner in the back. So that was, again, a very simple frame structure using the same clapboard, putting a window and a door in and fitting it into that spot on the base. Then I used tar paper roofing. And there's the backside where you see the kitchen shed, the vestibule in the back of the diner. And then sorry?
I'm sorry. What did you use for tar paper?
Oh, you know, it's, oh gosh, I don't have it right handy. It was, well, you know, you can use a lot of different things. This was a commercial product, but I have used black construction paper. That works out very well. This was a product, I'm going to have to dig around and find out where it is.
Is it a crepe of some type?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right.
I'm trying to remember, was it maybe Rusty Stumps?
Oh, for model railroading.
Yeah, Rusty Stumps might have been the source. They have a lot of different kinds of you know, materials for roofing. Some really interesting stuff. I think, oh boy, I'm trying to remember how I adhered it. It might have been transfer tape. Have you guys worked with that? It's like a double-sided tape, but it's really great to work with because it's not like, you know, the problem with working with white glue is that sometimes you get wrinkling, but the thing about transfer tape is that, you know, it sticks. Once you got it down, it's down. It's not going to go anywhere. So anyway, I just used a couple of different scrap parts in the back, couple barrels and so on. And here it is, the completed diner, ready to get a little bit of ground cover here on the side, maybe put in a little Coke machine on the outside. But that's it, folks.
Very
Any
nice, Roger. Makes me hungry looking at it.
Well, you know, I think I know if let's go back to the original picture, and I'd have to say it was pretty close.
Yeah, it looks very good.
You know, the thing is, I've been scouring Michael's and oh gosh, different places for, you know, for scrapbooking things that would give me a coffee cup. I really like that idea of having a coffee cup, but right now, I think I'm gonna stay with this guy. So I'm gonna probably put that somewhere in my layout where there's my either staging yard or maybe back in where the service facility is. Because, Andy, those guys got pretty hungry by the time they were through with their work. So they had to get something to eat,
Yeah, they did.
right?
For sure. Yeah, go to Beans.
Now this place does not have a liquor license yet. So, they can't get a beer, but they could get a frosty Coca-Cola and a little 6-ounce glass bottle with the traditional design.
Hey, we'll keep an eye out for a small coffee cup for you.
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be great. I can't tell you how long this took. It wasn't something like I was really racing against the clock. It was just kind of an interesting build. And I thought, hey, it's a pretty simple, scratch build. But, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Learned a lot along the way. Scratch building is fun.
Did a very nice job. I like the weathering on the wood.
Mm,
Really good.
thank you. Thank you.
And that sign looks well. You set that into the wood nicely.
Right. That's that whole idea of, how do I get this? I can't, Terry, I can't blow that up like we did the other night.
Go down to the lower left and
Yeah.
put the slideshow further down.
Mhm.
It's the 3 buttons down at the very bottom. I think it's the rightmost one of those 3.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. There. Thank you, Terry. So, yeah, Andy, I think it gives you a little bit better view. I wish I could just blow it up a little bit more, but yeah, that's the fun part about using fine grit sandpaper on the back of a paper sign. And you need to be careful because you can go through it pretty quickly. I've done it enough times now to know when to quit and then just apply diluted white glue, and it goes on just very, very well, very nicely.
Right.
Yeah, Roger, you said you did that with an inkjet printer, right?
Yes, it did. Right. Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
see, I had to do something, and I have an inkjet printer also, and I was very nervous about it because I
Mhm.
needed to come up with guides for shingling. And I was worried that it would run when I put the white glue on it to glue it down, but they
Yep.
apparently improved inkjet printers now to where the colors don't run because I
Yeah.
have absolutely
Yeah.
no problems with it. And that sign's beautiful.
So here's the actual. I don't know how well my camera. I wish I had your nice little handheld camera or the one with the tripod, Terry. But let's see, how close in can I get this? How's that look for you? Can you see that?
Yeah.
The picture's
Yeah.
very small though. You're up in the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got unshare your screen or something, maybe it'd work better.
Okay.
You're
Just-
done, right, with the PowerPoint?
Yeah. Can I stop share, Terry? And that would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Here we go.
And
now
if
it's-
everyone goes up to the upper right-hand corner, there's a view. And
Yeah.
if you go to speaker view,
Mhm.
Roger will fill up most of the screen.
Okay. So I should use full screen, Terry?
Well, I think individuals have to go to speaker view.
Okay.
And if they do that, you're going to be the primary window.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. You're big now.
Yeah.
Me?
Man,
Yeah. When
Andy-
you talk,
Andy-
it goes to your screen.
I didn't catch that.
Say when you speak, it automatically you go to the big screen when you speak,
Okay.
whoever's talking.
Well, let's see. I see you, Andy, but I don't. I see me in the top on the left-hand side there.
No, you're big on the big screen for me now. You're almost filling up my monitor.
Oh, okay. So let me try this then.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Yep,
Okay.
that's good.
All right. Now let's see.
Keep talking, Roger.
All right. Okay, fine. How does that look? Can you see the sign that way? Okay, good.
Yep.
But that's the whole model, the way that it came out. So like I said, it was a lot of fun, and it's one of those things that you learn a lot when you do these things.
Roger, I got a question for you. How on earth
Yeah.
did you get that cut so square and straight when you cut that car?
Well, yeah, good question. I think, let me go back to that slide. Let me see. Can I share? Let's see.
You stopped,
I stopped talking online. Let me go back to, should I go to share screen, Terry, to get back to the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so, okay, now, let's see, Kevin, to answer your question, let me, oh boy, go back to that original piece. I just used a razor saw, a fine tooth razor saw, and what's neat about the, oh gosh, I hope I'm not making you guys dizzy. Where is that? Here we go.
it's still there.
Here we are. So if you look at the top of the roof of the diner, you see those ribs, right? See those little ribs? I don't know if you can see. Okay. So I use that, Kevin, as sort of a guide, and just use the razor saw very, very carefully. And I don't know if I did anything else. It was just a
Boy,
hand cut. And then the trickiest part though, Kevin, was back here on the back, because I had to cut out, I had to cut this part out in order to form that little vestibule. If you remember,
Yeah.
this part here, I'm saying, oh, okay, that's gonna be a little bit fun. So I basically had to cut that part of the dining car out, and then I didn't show this part on a slide, but then I trimmed off these wings here and used that part as the door, as the entrance door to the diner there, right there.
so you basically cut it all by hand and it came
Mhm.
out perfectly square. That's amazing. I could never do that.
Well, thank you. It just took a little bit of patience. And like I said, I think the key was just a real fine toothed razor saw. Thank you.
Did you use a guide at all?
No. Mm-mm.
Wow,
Nope.
that's amazing.
You missed your calling as a surgeon or something.
Oh, well, I admire those guys. But it's fun when you're working on an inanimate object. It's another thing that's a human being. So there you are, guys.
Very, very nice, Roger. Thanks a lot for doing that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah,
So
excellent.
when can we expect your next building?
Oh, well, I've got a few. Actually, I've got a few. I just took the, the Roberts Printing Company
Right.
kit that Walthers has.
Right.
I could probably, when we go back to the next presentation, I might be able to run down and pull that up off my layout. That's a nice thing about being at home. You can, I could look around for the source of that tar paper too. But you see that George Roberts Printing Company on a lot of layouts. What I wanted to do was just cut it apart and fashion a little bit longer side. But it's back to Kevin's question about how did you cut it? I think maybe it's just Kevin with a lot of experience. I mean, I've cut apart a lot of Walther structures, all different kinds of structures, and at first you say, "Oh God, I'm taking here's a nice kid. You paid good money for it," and then you're starting to chop it apart. But again, I credit an awful lot to Art Curran, and he did that all the time. I mean, I wish I had his what's his gift of looking at a piece of plastic and saying, I could do something really interesting with that. So it's just like anything else, like soldering and like laying track, it's practice makes perfect.
Tony Koster says, ignore what's on the box, because what you're
Yes.
buying is a set
Yes.
of scratch building parts.
Yep. It's kind of like, who was it? Michelangelo. He said he saw the when he did David. You know, the carving of David. He saw it before he did it. You know, carving. You know, going into a big chunk of marble and coming out with a masterpiece like that. I'm no artist, but it's I let what I got to lose. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I look for what other people have done that attracts me, because I'm not really good at designing something from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it, but I'm not necessarily happy with it. When I look at what other people do, you know, how did he come up with that? Just such a nice job in that of the design element, not
Yep.
putting it together.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
That was where Art Curran was such an inspiration.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Harry?
That was where Art Curran was such an
Oh,
inspiration.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You
He was a genius.
Art Curran, John Bizard told me that back in one of the 1990 Division 5 conventions, I think they held it on the west side, that motel that was torn down by the freeway. Art Curran was there and sat through some of John's programs, and he was really impressed with John and spent a lot of time with him. John really liked the guy. He's a very nice gentleman. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had him. He was one of the featured speakers, Curran.
oh, was that why he was?
Yeah, because
Oh,
I
okay.
remember that he was the guy I always liked, because I liked him because of his punning signs.
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Signs.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
And he was, actually, he was real nice in communicating. I corresponded with him a couple of times through Mile River or through the office, and I asked him some technical questions, and he was real prompt with a reply. Even hand sketched out an example of what I was asking about. But a real good person.
Yeah. He passed away of cancer, didn't he?
I know he passed away a few years ago. I'm not sure what the cause
He was
was.
fairly young. I think it was in the early 2000s, maybe.
Really,
That's sad.
it is too bad.
Well,
But, you talk about, Andy, one more thing, you talk about the skill of putting these things together. I mean, it's one thing to take apart one building and kind of rearrange the pieces. He could look at 2 or 3 buildings, kits, and say, oh, okay, these parts would fit with that part. And I mean, it was a genius. Yeah, he was he amazed me.
right. Yeah, he's done some really, really cool things. There's still people use now, design wise. Bob Butler sent me one that Art Curran did quite a while ago for a chemical company.
Oh, really?
I was trying to come up with multiple buildings, for the chemical company at the end of that small peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
I used one of his chemical company ones. I have it for one of my T-Track modules.
Oh, is that right?
A couple of the coal mines and a whole bunch of others. And I don't have all the details on it because I'm working in a different scale. And the parts weren't the same that he used, that he scrounged and stuff. But it takes up a whole 2-foot T-Track module.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
If we ever have a train show again, you'll see it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.